Welcome to the show. Happy Monday, everybody. Today's topic, I'm very excited to say, is going to be about hydration. All the great things about it, and some surprising findings, and different kinds of water we're going to talk about, and different ways to hydrate. So, please feel free to put questions, comments in the chat section. I love when people ask questions and comments. If you have ideas for other episodes, let me know. So let's start talking hydration. So we all know that it's good to be hydrated and we're supposed to be drinking water, but there are so many other layers to it. And so we're going to talk today about why it's good to be hydrated, what happens if you're dehydrated, food sources of hydration, different types of water, different types of juices, things like that. So we are going to talk juice as well. So if you have questions or comments about juice, just let me know. Speaking of which, I made some celery juice just for the occasion. And I made this for a couple of reasons, because I'm reading a book right now, and the author talks about how she got into the whole celery juice thing. And I was curious about which celery juice thing she was referring to. So basically, there's a theory. There was a book written by a guy named Anthony William, and he wrote all about celery juice and how you should start your day drinking celery juice. And you're supposed to drink it on an empty stomach, wait about 15 minutes till you have any other food or beverages. And the theory is that celery juice is really detoxifying. It's good for your liver. It increases your bile production, which therefore helps to break down fat and is just very cleansing for the body. And also, celery in general, I looked up some of the health components of celery. Celery has a water content of 95%, so it's a very good hydration source of food. And it's full of phytochemicals, which can help decrease your blood pressure, decrease inflammation. It's loaded with antioxidants. It has a source of electrolytes in it. Vitamin A, vitamin C, folate, calcium. The list is kind of endless. So it's great to use that if you have a juicer. I usually mix my celery with things when I make juice, but celery by itself is very, very delicious. You definitely feel like you're doing something healthy for yourself. But the only downfall of juicing is that you lose the fiber, which is also really good for us, which we could talk about another week. So I'm not saying everybody needs to be drinking celery juice, but it is one way to hydrate, and I thought it was delicious and pretty easy, with the juicer, especially if you're just doing one ingredient. It makes the cleanup process a little bit easier. So I juiced like a whole bunch of celery, and I got about 8 ounces. So something to consider if you have a juicer. So let's see. Let's rewind a little bit and talk about the importance of hydration. So many reasons to stay hydrated. So let's just start. It helps regulate. Keeping hydrated helps. Water in our systems helps regulate our body temperature. We always want to stay, at the 98.6 or whatever your normal is. It helps keep your joints lubricated, which is great, especially if you exercise a lot or just, your overall well-being. It's good to have the joints lubricated, and it helps prevent infections. So when the doctor says when you're sick to have plenty of fluids, and it's important to drink water and tea and all of that when you're sick, well, it's also important when you're not sick, because water helps bring nutrients to our cells, and it helps take all the waste out of the cells. So you want all of that circulating all the time to get rid of all the toxins and the bacteria and the bad things that are going on in your cells, and helps bring the good nutrients into your cells. So that's very important. And it helps keep our organs functioning properly because our body is 60% water. And so our blood is water. And so we always want things flowing smoothly, especially to our organs, so that they get enough oxygen and circulation. And it's just important for our body in general, but especially our organs. And let's see. It has also been found to improve our sleep quality, our cognition, and our mood, which I found to be very interesting. And also a little bit about alcohol we'll talk about later and its effect on hydration. But it's important if you have been drinking alcohol at night to have some water as well, just to hydrate, especially helping with sleep and all of that. Let's see. Also, hydration helps the heart pump blood more easily through our blood vessels, which is also important for our circulation, for our systems to be working well, for our muscles to be able to work well. And it's good for our skin. It's good for our circulation. I just said that. And there was a study that I read about that water raises our alertness and our energy expenditure, which is our metabolism. So it keeps things flowing in our system. So our bloodstream is very influenced by water and hydration. So it's important to always have things going through and moving through and cycling through. So those are the benefits. And now you might be wondering, how much water should I be drinking really during the day? There's a huge trend happening with everyone drinking LaCroix and other zero-calorie seltzers, even though they're caffeine-free and sugar-free. Are there any negatives to carbonated water? Thank you for asking that. And I was going to bring that up, so let's just talk about it now. So when we talk about the different types of water, I did do a little research on the carbonated water front. And so this is what I found. That we'll go into this in a little bit, but the pH of our body is at 7. pH is between 0 and 14, the range of pH. Our bodies and our blood is at 7.4, and regular water is at 7. Carbonated water drops the pH down to 4, so it does make it a little bit more acidic. And some people say that it may harm the enamel on our teeth, and it may also decrease our bone density. But there hasn't been a whole lot of research on just plain water and the effect on our bones and our teeth. There've mostly been research on soda, which is also carbonated. And they think that it's actually from the sugar and the other additives that are in the sugar, or that are in the soda, that are contributing to the enamel getting worn off and our bone density decreasing. So there hasn't been a whole lot of research on the negatives, and the positive is that people are drinking more water, which is a good thing. So it's probably not best to have like our only source of hydration be from the sparkling water, but because we definitely do drink some here at our house as well. But it is important to have the still regular tap water or filtered water that we drink, especially because it does have the pH of our bodies. So, have you tried liquid 4? No, I don't know what liquid 4 is, but I will find out. That's interesting. I'm not sure what that is. But I'll do some research on it and I'll bring it back up next week. Okay, so let's go back to the topic of how much water should you be drinking? So there's I found a lot of different recommendations. So, always take an average, I guess, of everything we find. They always say 8 cups a day, which is 64 ounces, 2 32-ounce bottles. So that has been the recommendation, but they're finding that we probably need a little bit more than that. So I read a paper, a Harvard paper written, and it said that women should be having 11 cups and men should be having 16 cups a day. That, and 1 cup is 8 ounces. But that also includes the food that we eat that has water in it. And they say on average 20% of our water intake is from food. So that should be considered, which we are going to talk about lots of water sources, or lots of sources of hydration in our food. So another paper said, or the National Academy of Medicine said, women should be having 9 cups, men should be having 13 cups. Another recommendation from a physician said, drink the number of ounces, or divide your weight by 2. So cut your weight in half, and that's how many ounces you should have. So, for example, if you weigh 150 pounds, you should be drinking 75 ounces of water. So I thought that was a pretty good, that's easy. So somewhere in that range, between like thinking about the 8 cups, probably have a little bit more than that, and then think about the water that's in your food. But a lot of things influence our hydration. For example, exercise. If you're exercising and sweating, you're going to need more water. If you have a fever, you're going to need more water. If you are in hot temperatures, you're going to need more water. If you are drinking alcohol, you're going to need more water. And this is the reason why. So I did a little research, and I thought this was very interesting, that alcohol can suppress an antidiuretic hormone in our body. And that hormone usually regulates our fluid in our bodies. It signals, so if you're drinking alcohol, it signals to the kidneys to not have you urinate because you need to keep the water in your body. So it's reabsorbed back in the body. So you're retaining water and you're not staying hydrated in the good way because things aren't cycling through. So that's why it's important to drink water when you're drinking alcohol. So if you're having a glass of wine, just think about replacing that amount of wine with water, probably twice that much. So if you have 5 ounces, have 10 ounces of water, and so on, and so on. So that also affects how much water we have. So maybe one day you exercise a lot, and then the next day you don't exercise as much, so you're going to need more on the exercise day. So it's always going to be changing the amount of water we need. But it's important to have that water. If you're dehydrated, these are a couple of symptoms, which you probably know, but I thought I'd bring them up anyway. So headache, fatigue, muscle tension, digestive issues, and they have found that it could cause low blood pressure as well because you're just not getting enough oxygen circulating through the body, and just kind of makes you feel sluggish, and the headaches, like we said. So if you're feeling those symptoms, you should definitely be having water. So let's talk about the different kinds of water. So we just discussed water has a pH of 7, kind of in the neutral zone. Then there's the topic of alkaline water, which that's kind of been a trending thing to drink in the alkaline diet and all of that, which we can go into another week, but I'll just touch on it a little bit today. So some people believe that we should be having more alkaline foods because we eat a lot of other foods that are acidic just to keep the balance in the body. And so some people drink alkaline water, which has the pH of between 8 and 9. So it's a little bit above the 7. And some people get, the special filtration systems in their house that make your water alkaline by separating out the alkaline components and the acid components in the water. And but studies, actually, there haven't been a whole lot of studies to prove that is actually necessary to do. But I did read in an article, like, bottom line, if that makes you drink more water, then that's great, and continue doing it. But it's not something that everybody should be going out and feeling like they need to get a whole new filtration system to make their water alkaline. But if you have it and you drink more water because of it, that's great. So we talked about that. We talked about the carbonated water. So yeah, carbonated water, a little bit more acidic. So probably balance out a little bit of the tap water with that as well. Or plain water, still water, I guess. Still water is good, it can be a little bit boring. So I know that that's why the whole bubbly water aspect makes it way more fun to drink water. There are also other things you can do, like adding fruit to your water, adding herbs, like we talked about last week's episode, and making teas and herbal waters is a good way to make your beverage more fun. Or cutting up chunks of ginger always makes it really delicious as well. Or cucumber, or anything, lemon, lime. That's kind of the old standard. So those are good options. Teas and coffees. This is what I found very interesting. So herbal teas, yes, that's kind of a given. We talked about that making your own herbal teas, or like chamomile or peppermint or anything like that. But I did find there were a lot of articles that saying that they're finding that drinking coffee can actually be part of your tally of your hydrating water during the day. And everybody always talks about how, coffee is diuretic and it makes you dehydrated and all this stuff. Well, they're finding that yes, it does have a mild diuretic component to it, but the amount of water that's in it to make it kind of offsets that. So, I always feel like I need to drink water after I have coffee, but they're saying that it's not as bad as you might have thought. So there's that. I liked that information. Some more beverages. Artificially sweetened beverages. I did a little research on that, and those are they're better than sweetened beverages. But definitely water is better. And they say that, if you're going to be drinking the artificially sweetened beverages, even including like the ones with stevia and all that stuff that don't have the calories but are still sweetened, just to have them minimally, like not making that your source of hydration. They've found that it could contribute to weight gain. It could increase the risk of type 2 diabetes. So there isn't a whole lot of stuff for sure out there, but it's best to just go natural with water or infuse your water. And then, of course, the sweetened beverages should definitely just be special occasion beverages, and not necessarily your source of hydration. And then there are all the other beverages like milk. There's fruit juice. There's vegetable juice. There's sports drinks, and those all, there are good and there are bad things about them. Fruit juice, as long as it's 100% fruit juice, that's okay, but the recommendation is less than 4 ounces a day just because of all the sugar. Even if it's natural sugar, it's still sugar. Vegetable juice is a good option, but if you are buying it pre-made, just make sure it's not super high in sodium, because that kind of offsets the hydration aspect of it. And let's see, sports drinks. We will talk about that a little bit because I have an alternative. 2 alternatives actually for sports drinks like Gatorade. Those a lot of times have sugar in them. And, if they say that if you're doing extreme training or working out for more than an hour at high intensity, that like it's good to replace your electrolytes, of course. But not necessarily you don't have to have the Gatorade afterward. There are other options. So, speaking of that, let's talk about food sources. Foods that have a high water content, which help hydrate you, which are great in the summer, which there are a lot of summer foods that we can eat that help hydrate us. Food number 1, watermelon. I made this delicious salad. We'll be having this for dinner tonight. It is watermelon, mint, jalapenos, lime juice. And it is so good. I made it a while ago, and it really infused the flavor of the jalapeno, so it's like subtly spicy. I'll be posting this recipe on my Instagram, on Instagram tomorrow if you'd like it. But it is really good. And if you're starting your meal off with watermelon, you're hydrating yourself. It's great. So watermelon is 92% water. And it has vitamin C, it has vitamin A, it has antioxidants. The antioxidant lycopene is in watermelon. So that's a great addition. Now that we're in summer, we're finding it more at the grocery store. So thumbs up to watermelon. Strawberries are 91% water. I was a little bit surprised by that. I didn't know that there was so much water in strawberries. And of course, those have a great source of fiber, antioxidants, vitamin C, and they're delicious. So, oh, hi, Myra. Looks delicious and so pretty. Thanks. Yeah, it is really good. I wish I could share it with you. But yeah, watermelon is great. And cantaloupe, 90% water. Peaches, 89% water. And peaches are also loaded with antioxidants. Oranges, 88% water. Hi, Myra. Oranges are 88% water. And we always used to have oranges like for our snack when playing soccer as a kid. And I was reading, when I was reading all the nutrients that are in it, besides the vitamin C, it has the flavonoids, it has potassium. So it's a good beverage, or a good fluid replacer in the body. So oranges are good. And this was interesting. Skim milk. I know that maybe not everybody drinks milk, but if you do, it's 91% water and has vitamin B12, it has calcium, it has vitamin A. And there was a study where they found that if you drank low-fat milk after a workout, it helped athletes stay hydrated more so than the sports drinks and more so than water. So something to consider. I thought that was interesting. Cucumbers are also 95% water. They have a lot of vitamin K and potassium, and also a good summer vegetable to have, especially like cucumber gazpacho, or just eating them by themselves, or making cucumber water with the slices, or pureeing it into a water. Lettuce is 96% water. We did talk about lettuce. What was it? The week that we did the garden greens. So if you want to hear more about lettuce and all the good things, in addition to the water, go back to that episode. Let's see. Zucchini, 94% water. And it has lots of vitamin C, and it's growing in many people's gardens right now, so it'll be ready soon. I can't have milk, I'm lactose intolerant. Yeah, I know that it's not an option for everybody to have the milk. But another option, I'll just say it now, it was lower on my list, but I'll just say it now, is coconut water. Coconut water is great for after a workout because it's 95% water, and it's loaded with electrolytes, like natural electrolytes. So if you're not going to do the milk, coconut water is a good alternative to the Gatorade or the sports drinks. And it's delicious. So I recommend that. And let's see. We talked about celery. It's 95% water. Eating it is great. Drinking it is great. It's a good option. We just made the ants on a log the other day, putting peanut butter and raisins on it. And, you're kind of hydrating yourself as well. What about almond milk? Yes, I think almond milk is good just because it's very high in water. I don't know the percent, but that's good. And it's low in calories, and it's just like a thirst quencher. I don't know about, I'm not sure if it has all the electrolyte components that regular milk has, but it definitely could be used as one of your forms of hydration during the day, for sure. Tomatoes, also growing in gardens right now, 94% water. They are rich in fiber, antioxidants, the lycopene, like we talked about with the watermelon. And that we know that that's good for our hearts, and has vitamin C, vitamin A, and just a good option for the summer. And bell peppers. Bell peppers are 92% water. They're high in fiber, and compared to most other vegetables, it has the highest amount of vitamin C, which I thought that was interesting. It has 317% of your daily needs of vitamin C in 1 cup of bell peppers. So that was pretty awesome, I thought. Let's see, what else? What else? Oh, cauliflower, which I would not have considered that to be something with a lot of water, but my research found that it's 92% water. And we talked about cauliflower a couple of episodes ago with the phytosterols, super good for you, helps lower the cholesterol, good sources of fiber, and it also has another compound called choline, which is good for your brain and your metabolism. So, cauliflower. I keep talking about cauliflower, and we eat a lot of it, so I'm glad that that all these other, it keeps popping up in all the topics. Cabbage, 92% water. Good source of fiber, vitamin C, folate, vitamin K, and a lot of times people make cabbage into sauerkraut or kimchi, and that could be a good probiotic, which we talked about in a previous episode as well. And last but not least, grapefruit. Grapefruit is 88% water. Great source of fiber, vitamin A. It's full of antioxidants. So there are so many options of getting more hydration in our food. So basically what it comes down to is have more fruits and vegetables, especially these summery ones with lots of good nutrition and good water source. So those are the top fruits and vegetables and beverages that I found that were good for hydrating. And let's see, talking about keeping our electrolytes in balance, that's also important. I had that, I know we talked about that with the athletes, that it's important to keep the electrolyte balance as it should be, so it kind of gets a little off balance after we exercise and sweat. But it's found in all the fluids. A lot of the fluids in our body, our blood, our tissues. And so electrolytes help balance the amount of water in our body. They help balance the acid-base pH balance in our body. They move nutrients into the cells. They move waste out of the cells. So we need to make sure that we have those electrolytes. And the electrolytes that are important in our body are sodium, calcium, potassium, chloride, phosphate, magnesium. And a lot of these components are in these hydrating foods that we just discussed. So keep those in mind. And yeah, I think that's about it. Another great thing that you can do with your watermelon, I have some watermelon here. We're running a little bit out of time, so I'm not going to make it, but I will make it and I'll put it on Instagram. But pureeing watermelon with a little bit of chia seed, a little bit of water in your blender. Chia seed. You know how I really enjoy talking about chia seeds. Is a great thirst quencher for the summer. Add in some mint too. Kind of basically it's like our watermelon salad, but it's a beverage. So another option to keep in mind for hydrating ourselves. So bottom line, drink water, keep yourself hydrated, have lots of fruits and vegetables, and we'll be good. We'll be good. Thank you all for joining today, and it's been fun talking hydration, and we'll have another topic next week. So please stay tuned and check out my Instagram. It's @AllieShercliffe. And oh, hi Kelly. Check out my Instagram. I always post recipes and things from the show, so check that out. I'll be posting things tomorrow, and there are previous weeks with recipes as well. Thank you all for joining. Happy Monday. We'll see you again next time. Okay, bye.